gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. Our salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point and Click Podcast. My name is John the Wise, and I have with me my illustrious co-host, our salesman.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. We were supposed to have special guest TY with us today, but we forgot to confirm with him, and we fucked it up. So
There was some communication error between John and myself,
yes.
and neither of us followed up with Ty.
No, we did not follow up with Ty, so unfortunately he's not going to be on today. But hopefully in the next week or something, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, he said he was available this Sunday, but not next, so we'll have to
So the one
skip
after.
over. Yeah.
We'll do the other. Oh, we're close to 100 episodes, dude. It's coming up. Like, really coming up.
Oh, yeah, shouldn't we figure fucking something out to do, boyo?
What do you mean? We have a plan, right? Wink,
Oh,
wink.
right, yes, we've been planning it all along.
Oh, man. Maybe I'll fly out to your town. Czar's not down with that. He's like, no.
I mean, you can, but that's a lot of fucking money to waste.
Listen, dude, it's not a waste for our 100th episode, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right? But yeah, I have a kid, so I don't know if I could do shit like that. You can't just like get up and go.
You can't just get up and fly off.
Yeah, you can't. That's one thing
But
that
you can.
Dude, that's one thing that we really miss about not having a kid is literally right now. If you and your wife were like, "Hey, let's go get Jamba Juice," you just go get in your car and you go get it and you come back home. We can't fucking do that. It's a process. All right, get his bag.
Yeah,
get his
everything you do is
oh
like
my God, dude.
a series of certain events that have to take place. Can we do this? What about this?
Yeah. And then it also has to coincide with his like nap time and his sleep time. So he has to get enough sleep or he's cranky throughout the whole day. It's just bad, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Everything that we've worked hard for, like right now we have him at this perfect schedule. Like we literally put him in his bed and he goes to sleep at certain hours of the day. We just like say, here you go, bedtime, put him down, and that's it. And other parents,
put him down.
that's it. And other parents are like, how the fuck do you do that? That's like magic to other parents because we had to like work him to get that. So anything that
you gotta
fucks it
beat
up,
it into him.
exactly. I mean, elbow drops, knees to the body, leg kicks. These are all things that make him a stronger baby.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. He's got to be the fittest to survive.
that's it. Fit, ready to go, dude. But yeah, anything new with these are?
No. So I was running late because we're having plumbing problems again.
Uh-oh. Homeowner
Yeah.
issues.
Homeowner issues. So I had to run down to Burger King to use the restroom.
Mm. That's fun.
That
Isn't
was
that
fun.
fun?
Right. And so I went ahead and got us an early lunch while I was there, but like they had just switched over to lunch. So I sat there for like 20 minutes after paying for my food.
Oh, so it's one of those where like we're switching to lunch. Who eats Burger King breakfast anyway? It's
That's
McDonald's breakfast or fuck your mother, all right? That's
because
it.
Burger King is literally right down the road.
That's the only reason too. Yeah,
That's the only reason.
I get it. It's not that
Their
bad.
croissants aren't bad. Their
No.
croissants are pretty good.
Burger
but-
King's not that bad.
I mean, a McMuffin,
I know, dude. McDonald's has just got that breakfast on lock, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fuck around with that breakfast, man. But
I agree.
yeah. Other than that, though, we've been playing the shit out of Risk of Rain 2, guys.
Holy shit!
The
I've
shit
been
out of that game, dude.
literally like no lifing it.
And it's such a good game, man. It's out on Steam right now. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It is nope, that's not what I'm looking for. There it is. It is a roguelike shooter. Not shooter, but third person perspective.
Yeah,
it's
third
kind of like a
person.
shooter.
I'd say it's like a shooter. I mean, what else can you call it? You shoot things, John.
I know, but it's not just shooting isn't the main mechanic, you know, like it's mostly survival than it is like a shooter.
Yeah, it's a third person survival action roguelike game. There's several classes. So I mean, one is your standard, just like he's got 2 guns. Then you've got a huntress that has a bow and a glaive.
Yeah.
A mercenary that has a samurai sword. So there's more than just shooting, but yeah, it's just the design is shooter-esque.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's the second one of the series. And if we look at the first one, Risk of Rain, show you guys real quick what it looks like. It's a 2D kind of roguelike game, platformer 2D game, which is so different. So like these guys took a huge risk of like completely changing their game style, and they're like, you know what, we want to upgrade, we want to offer something different and better, in their mind better. And they delivered on this fucking amazing 3D game, dude. It's so fucking fun. Right now it's early access, so there isn't a lot of content, but whatever content exists is enough for us to be putting countless hours into it, dude. That's what's so crazy about it.
And it's of course, you know, we've shit on early access a lot in the past. But this is, in my opinion, the good kind of early access, the like what early access was made for.
Yeah.
This is a small indie company. They've got their core game together. This isn't early access bug fiesta like other games are. Like, you know, like DayZ and PUBG where it's like early access, but like the game is complete shit.
Yeah.
This is the game runs, it plays really well. The core technical stuff is already done.
Yeah.
The only thing that is missing is like end game and content. So that's what they plan to create through the early access process.
Yeah, and like Czar said, there was never a time where I was like, ugh, this fucking early access, like, you know what I mean?
No, the game is 100% playable. Runs like butter.
Yeah. It runs like butter. It's fun. There's enough content to unlock that makes it fun. There's enough stuff to do, like secret stuff that you're like, ooh, like you see it somewhere and you're like, ooh, now I want to try that out. There's a few times that like a bug happens and reminds you that it's early access, because
right,
I would not remember. Like I'd be, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's right, it's early access. That's why it's like this. So
like one time, I swear, and we spent 20 minutes, me and 2 friends, on the first level, teleported and spawn.
yeah,
Which I had never seen happen before. But that's how the bugs are. They are very far and few in between.
There's also like unintentional, like things that are ridiculous that we didn't know if they were intentional or not. Like,
right,
there's
balance stuff is getting changed, of course. Like, it's the Blazing Titan.
Yeah,
They tweeted about it. They got to fix it. It accidentally does 24 times more damage than it's supposed to.
Yeah, and we didn't know that was unintentional. We're just
were
like,
just
fuck,
living
those
with
guys
it,
are hard.
fucking us in the ass.
The game is so hard, like towards the end of your run, that you're just like, you accept everything. You're like, whatever, like, yeah, I got one shot, whatever. That's what it is. And there's a fucking hilarious clip of me getting one shot as soon as I spawn. So I don't know if that's
So
intentional either. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. That was that's one of my favorite clips. I've watched it like every day as I boot up my computer.
But to give you guys a general idea of what this game is, you and up to three of your other buddies can play a 4-man co-op where you go around killing things. They drop money, and with the money, you open chests throughout that world. It's all procedurally generated. And in those chests are random items that give you random modifiers, like chance on hit to bleed target. If you kill somebody, he explodes. and does damage to people around him, all kinds of shit, like anything you can think of. So the fun part of it is just stacking up these random items, and by the end of your run, you're like, oh my god, I'm a fucking god. You turn into like a god. But even then, you still
Then
fucking...
you just get one shot by some stupid fire-breathing lizard.
I know, those fucking elder Lemurians, dude. But basically, I'm going to tell you this little description, and I want you guys to save it in your head because we're going to be talking about it later in an article. But it's pretty much this environment where you're just going around. You and your buddies are trying to survive as a procedurally generated environment around you is trying to kill you. Monsters and crazy things are trying to kill you, right? Remember that description. Okay. Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about? Can we just get into the news? Because it is probably going to be a short
I feel
one.
like I don't know why we're doing this podcast when I could be playing Risk of Rain right now.
I know. But okay, let's get to why I said hold that. So, Jason Schreier, he dropped the bomb on BioWare, guys. He dropped the bomb. He has this insane article called How BioWare's Anthem Went Wrong. I highly recommend you guys read it, especially if you're a fan of Anthem and BioWare, and this whole thing like left a bad taste in your mouth and you just want to know what the fuck went wrong with this game. I mean, this article just breaks it down. He talked to former BioWare employees and current BioWare employees, obviously all anonymous. If it was anyone else, you wouldn't know if you can believe him. But since it's Jason Schreier,
yeah, I trust pretty much any article he puts
anything. And if he said, "Hey, I talked to a bunch of BioWare people, and this is how they feel," then it's a fact. This is how they feel. Okay, and pretty much that's exactly what this article is all about. From bottom to top, he talks about all the things that made Anthem the product that it is today, and all the things that plagued it. And to say that it's just EA that did it is incorrect. It's not just EA. There's so much shit going on, dude. There's a lot of they talk about in this article where
EA was the least of their problems. Like EA barely had a hand in any of the issues that BioWare has. It's a development studio issue, and it's because BioWare is just their management sucks.
Yeah, they're the head of BioWare. So apparently most of the people that made all the good BioWare games, by the time Anthem was being developed, they had all gone. They'd all left.
Yeah, people were bailing in the middle of Anthem development because they couldn't take the environment.
Yeah. It was actually not even called Anthem. It was called Beyond. And then they said, oh, it'd be too hard to get that copyright, so name it Anthem. And they didn't know why. People making the game were like, why are we calling it Anthem? They didn't even know why. So they had to develop a story to make the title work. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
But that's the minuscule part of all the problems that went on. It's a lot to do with a lot of the common things people were complaining about was leadership, not taking leadership roles and making decisions that needed to be made so they can just get shit done. It was a lot of indecisiveness, a lot of, oh, but we need to do it like this. There was even a quote where they said they felt like they were making a Destiny game. We all say it's a Destiny clone. And
yeah, but it was a 4-letter word because management wouldn't let them talk about it.
Yeah, they're like, don't mention Destiny. We don't want to. It's not Destiny.
They wouldn't even let them look at Destiny as reference for sort of like the environment of this type of, like the market for this type of game.
Yeah.
To see what works and what doesn't. Like Destiny was not allowed to be mentioned. Destiny was not allowed to be looked at or researched.
Yeah, and
it was crazy.
There's a quote in here. Fuck. Here, keep talking. I need to find it.
So basically, it was a lot of an ego trip by those in charge of BioWare. Not like EA imposed heads of BioWare, like just BioWare, the developer themselves. This would have happened regardless of whether EA was in charge of them or not. This is the BioWare development leads. And they basically wanted to be able to create this type of game that they've never made before in a market where several of these games already exist, thrive, and are successful, and they wanted to ignore all of their contemporaries and be like, we're going to make our own without looking at what works in this type of genre, and we're just going to make it work because we're BioWare and we're better than everyone else.
They called it BioWare Magic.
Yeah.
Where all the major games, Mass Effect 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, all these major games, the last 3 months or 6 months of production was when the game became the magic happened. So they're like, yeah, it's shitty now, but come on, man, we're BioWare. At the last 6 months, we're gonna pull it off.
Such a shitty mentality to have.
I know, but it's like they're like,
They
we've
just
done it
got
before.
lucky. It's because they just got lucky. But with this my worry is that people are going to fall back on this bit of the article and be like, oh, see, it's still EA's fault. Is that, well, they are forced to use Frostbite.
Yeah.
Which has its problems and which they haven't used before, I guess.
They use Frostbite.
But they said, had it for 8 years to develop on.
Yeah.
I mean, and come on.
They said that there was things that Frostbite could do that their engine couldn't do. Well, for example, their engine was not meant for online play, and Frostbite was. It's a Battlefield engine, but it doesn't have a good inventory system the way that their engines did with like Mass Effect and stuff like that. So they had to start from scratch making an inventory on the Frostbite engine, and they said that they couldn't use any of the Dragon Age stuff either because it just didn't work.
Yeah, and this is what I need to make people understand, because I don't want them to continue to blame EA because they made them use Frostbite. They had 8 years to address these issues that they should have known they were going to have, but because management was all over the place and they're like, we're crunch time later, they probably didn't even worry or focus on this type of stuff that should have been some of the first stuff worked on. Like, hey, we haven't worked in this engine. Here's some things that we know we're going to need to work on. Here's a team that's going to work on this. You know what I mean? Like, let's get some of these core concepts and stuff done. This technical stuff out of the way. We got 8 years. Let's make sure we don't fuck it up. Instead, they didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
It seems. They did all of that kind of stuff last minute.
Yeah.
Which is why it's such a clusterfuck.
And to be honest with you, from what I've read in the article, because of one guy, he kind of like came in and he just like fixed everything. And he's like, look, we just need to get this fucking game out. Let's make these mechanics work. Let's make this shit work. All the shit they needed in the beginning of development, this guy came in and did all of it. I think he was the lead developer for Dragon Age Inquisition. So his goal wasn't like, let's make a good game. His goal was let's just fucking
make a game,
because it was going to be way worse. It was going to be way worse than it is now. It was going to be insanely worse. It was not even going to be a game. No one was going to play it. They're going to be like, this is not a game. This is just
Well, I mean, that's what I think the reason that they brought him in too was because what's his name? Something Sunderland, which is the guy from EA that's sort of like in charge of overseeing BioWare.
Yeah.
They gave him like, a demo, which I guess was before this other guy stepped in to make them finish the game. And he was like, this isn't the game you promised me.
Yeah, it would look like shit. And
he was the reason, this guy from EA is the reason flying is even in the game.
Dude,
because he demanded it be put in.
That's what I was going to say. The flying was not in the game because they couldn't get it to work, so they scrapped it. And then he's like, what the fuck do you mean you scrapped it, dude? What do you mean you fucking scrapped it, dude?
All you Anthem players, you can thank EA for the flying.
Yeah, dude. And that's like one of the things that people love about the game is the flying.
That's the only reason the game exists, in my opinion.
So
I don't think anybody would be playing with it if it didn't have some spice of its own in this looter shooter genre. I mean, like,
yeah, and
it would have nothing to showcase in the demos.
I was trying to find the quote.
Control F, John.
No, I tried. I couldn't find it. Where they were trying to talk about what the game Beyond was going to be, which was the original title for Anthem. It was supposed to be a game where you and your buddies go into a procedurally generated environment and survive against monsters that are created in beautiful worlds, and you're just a nobody. It's all about survival. That's all it was, which is exactly what Risk of Rain 2 is, or not exactly, but I mean that's the core concept of what makes it so fucking fun. So imagine Risk of Rain 2 with
like a
triple
progression
A
system,
and triple A graphics, triple A, stuff like that. A development that is like way more than whatever Risk of Rain 2's development studios has. I mean,
okay, when describing the early iterations of Anthem, developers have made comparisons to Dark Souls' Darkest Dungeon,
there you go,
even Shadow of the Colossus. Those are largely different games.
Yeah, completely different games.
So it seems like nobody knew. Like there were so many people trying to pull this game in so many different directions at so many different points in its development.
Yeah, and then there was parts where they're like, okay, we'll make a Destiny clone, and they're like, no, we want it to be more like Diablo, and they're like, okay, but we're not making a Diablo style game, and the studios were like, don't say Destiny, that's a 4-letter word, even though it's not. That's not the kind of word that we want to say in this studio. Say Diablo, don't say Destiny, and it's like, okay, fine, we won't say Destiny, but we're making a Destiny game, and there was times where like. I didn't know this, but you don't get loot in Anthem until you finish the mission. There's no like loot on the ground and stuff like. Dude, that used to be implemented where like loot falls from creatures and you pick it up and you equip it like normal RPGs.
Yeah, it's in Destiny, isn't it?
Destiny's like that too, isn't it? Where you could just pick up
Can't you just pick up an anagram on the ground and use it?
Yeah, but in Anthem you have to finish the mission and then you get.
Yeah, you get your loot after the mission.
Ugh, that's so lame, dude.
And it all looks the same. There's only like 2 or 3 skin types for each type of gun.
Yeah.
And they are almost identical then.
Yeah.
Like there's no variety in loot. It's horrible. For a looter shooter, they left out the looter part. There's like horrible loot, nothing worthwhile, which is what Destiny does great.
Yeah.
The loot is neat, it's unique, and it all feels really cool.
Yeah.
The loot in Anthem is non-existent.
In Anthem is like it's so hard to explain how it's hard to pinpoint one thing that went wrong with Anthem's development.
One thing didn't go wrong.
It's not one thing. It's so many fucking things, and it has a lot to do with management.
That's what it boils down to. This is what a lot of these problems really all do boil down to with a lot of games, and really most things dealing with businesses in any way is it comes down to a management and leadership issue. Yeah. What you needed was a singular entity in charge of what is this game from the very start. What is this game? What's the concept? What's the design? What's our end point? Get it all out there and make that game.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you need help, get the help as soon as possible. They didn't get help from DICE for implementing stuff on the Frostbite engine till way later, till Jonathan Sunderland came in and said, "Look, dude, what the fuck is going on here? What is this game?" And they're like, "Yeah, sorry, dude, we don't know how to make a game like this on this engine.
We don't know how to use Frostbite."
And he was like, "Why didn't you fucking say something?" You know? And so he got people from Switzerland or Sweden, wherever they made the Frostbite engine. They're like, "Get on a plane right now, come over here and help these guys out on how to fucking make this game." And that's what they did, and that's what happened towards the end of the game. So actually, the Anthem that we have now is a significantly better product than whatever the fuck was going on towards the end of development.
Right.
And they fixed it, but really they just put glitter on a turd and said, you know, hey,
they fixed what they could.
Exactly.
And that's the game you got.
Yeah. So that's the thing with I can't recommend something more than to read this article. What I like to do, since sometimes I'm too busy to just sit down and read, is I have this app that you just put in an article into the app and it reads it out loud, like in a robotic voice, you know, like Siri or whatever. Cool. And that's what I do. I just listen to this whole article. It's like a podcast episode, dude.
Well, I mean, it is an extremely long.
Oh man, I mean, look at this scrolling action, guys. I mean, just boom. Yeah. I didn't even finish it. I'm like 3/4 of the way.
I haven't finished it either. I've been slowly reading it over a couple days.
And just like
sit down and read several paragraphs, get up and do stuff or play some games. Reads like it's 100% worth reading, and I still haven't finished.
And we could do a whole episode just on this article, 100%. We can sit here and talk about it for an hour. There's notes that we can take. There's people that have made videos about it already. I'd recommend just checking them out. But yeah, dude, it's crazy how much pressure these studios are under to develop. This is what pressure looks like when you put a studio under pressure. And there isn't management to mitigate that pressure.
It's also when like bad management within the studio puts pressure on people, because it's like everyone's pressure. And then to talk about the crunch time culture within game development studios, I don't know what else to do. Maybe developers need to fucking unionize or something. Because this stuff is insane. The stories we hear about. There's mention of people, mental leave for months.
Yeah,
stress leave. stress leave, which is a very real thing with game developers because it's so ridiculous the pressure they're put under.
Here it is. Many say they or their coworkers had to take stress leave, a doctor-mandated period of weeks or even months worth of vacation for their mental health. A doctor mandated. Yes. A doctor looked at the employees and said, "Dude,"
and said, "You have to stop working.
You have to not work for weeks or months because your mental health is in terrible condition."
Not only that, but there is mentioned in the article that some people never came back.
Yeah.
Like they went on stress leave and they just never came back to the studio.
Why would you come back, dude? Why would you come back? People were so angry and sad all the time. Depression and anxiety are an epidemic within BioWare, which is hard to hear, man, because BioWare is, the studio that made Mass Effect and Dragon Age and Star Wars The Old Republic. These are all games that are part of my life, like part of me growing up, and have created a standard for me now that I'm like other games that even want to come close to sniffing this kind of shit. They better be as good as or better, And to hear that, they don't have that magic anymore. It's just it's really fucking sad, right. Dude.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. This kind of stuff makes me upset too with this whole crunch culture and everything because it's like, it's just these large companies like, and I will bash EA for this, like EA or something that, I mean, in an effort to try to get, as much profit or whatever, they end up with this culture of just constant abuse of the people whose labor makes them the product.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fresh Prince says administration is where most major problems arise, and most of those people that left, they left the pressure on the ones staying, and he says that BioWare lost their touch during Mass Effect 3. Dragon Age Inquisition was a fluke. I mean, that's how they felt like they had the magic where they could...
It's just, it'll work at the end.
We're BioWare, We're BioWare. There's no way that...
You're a group of developers who work hard and are pushed to work way too hard.
Yeah. And your expectations are really high because, dude, you guys did it before. Even down to the writing, dude. The head writer for Anthem was the same guy that did Dragon Age. And
but apparently everyone says the story's fucking shit.
Yeah, because he said that they forced him into this nook of writing, and he didn't want to write this story. This isn't even the story he wanted to write. He said like, they forced me to fucking write this story. I came in with one style of story, and they're like, no. It needs to be more like a sci-fi kind of thing. And he's like, well, I wanted to give it a more human element, And they're like, no, it needs to be pushed into this area. So he's just like, okay, I'm just a robot. I'm just a typewriter.
Right.
That's all I am. I'm a typewriter. What do you want? Okay, boom, there you go. That's what you get. And it shows in the story. It shows with a lot of people. But anyway, after this came out, which once again, I highly recommend you read. After this came out, Jason Schreier wrote, while reporting this story, I learned the names of dozens and dozens of people who have left BioWare over the past 2 years. Those who talked to me said they believe that something desperately needs to change. And then after that, he says EA and BioWare declined to comment or provide any interviews for the story, but they did just put up this blog post written before they could read the article. Very interesting. And in one of the things that they said in this blog post, which I have right here, they pretty much talk shit about Jason Schreier. They're like, we don't...
In a roundabout way.
They said...
they blame him for bashing creators or something like that.
We didn't want to be part of something that was attempting to bring down as individuals. Attempting to bring them down as individuals. We respect them and we built the game as a team. So they don't want to bring down anybody.
They didn't want to target out the people responsible, which is management.
Yeah.
Who, in a way, abuses the workers.
Yeah.
With this development process of 8 years of pulling them this way and that way, making them deal with crunch time, abusing their mental states. I mean, the industry is full of this type of cancer.
Yeah.
And people like Jason Schreier are great because they continue to report about it. And it needs to be brought to light. And this is just a example of management and development studio playing PR to try to cover it up. Be like, oh no, we're a great studio that works together as a team,
Yeah. And I'm glad that this article came out because a lot of people would want to blame developers in this, and then management just gets away with it. You know what I mean? And all the blame falls on the developers. Like, oh, they just suck as developers. A lot of the things they complained about too was the fact that Edmonton was the main headquarters. That's where they made all the Mass Effect games that we all love. And then the B team is in Austin, Texas. That made Star Wars: The Old Republic. The C team made Andromeda. So that one's in another place. That one is the JV squad. They're the bench. But the varsity is at Edmonton, and the problem is Edmonton's a fucked up place to live, dude. It's always fucking cold. It's freezing temperatures. So if I live in LA, sunny California, or some other place in the world, and I'm a awesome developer, they're like, hey, we need you in Edmonton to make another BioWare game. A lot of people are like, no, I don't want to fucking live in Edmonton, dude. You know what I mean? So it's hard to recruit really good guys. So yeah. But yeah, let's see. In chat, Jimble says, I like Andromeda unironically. They actually talked about how Andromeda has the best shooting in all the Mass Effect games. I've never played Andromeda, but supposedly they do.
The biggest stuff about Andromeda was just story issues, animation issues, and some other buggy stuff like that. I think a lot of the stuff with Andromeda was some technical issues that like C-Team was rushed trying to fix, and then animation issues, and then everyone says the story sucked.
And
other than that, I'm sure the core gameplay, I don't think anybody had a problem with.
Prince says C-Team is gone. Yeah, after Andromeda, C-Team was disbanded. And then A-Team didn't listen to any of the advice that B-Team was trying to give them because they thought they were better than them. So the people that developed...
there was like internal hostility between the studios of BioWare.
The studio that developed an MMO that is probably the most story-rich MMO that I've ever seen. Every single part of the story has its own voice acting and cutscenes, and it feels like a real Mass Effect style Star Wars game. And they were the ones that were trying to give them advice on how to make a multiplayer game, and they just didn't want to listen to them. And they were just ignored, which is fucking crazy to me, dude. That's so crazy, because they had their own shit to deal with, dude. And, that game is still alive somehow. So obviously they're doing fucking something right. And yeah, and like Prince says, Star Wars: The Old Republic went through a lot of the issues that Anthem is going through. So it's crazy, man. So like we said in the beginning, it's not all EA. It's not EA coming in and saying, no, don't make that game, make this game. I'm sure some of that was there. Some of that pressure was there, but it was also a lot of other shit, man. It was a lot of management trying to please upper management. It was like Suits trying to please. And we're not saying,
when we say upper management, we're not talking about EA upper management.
No, BioWare upper
We're talking about BioWare. This is internal BioWare issues.
Yeah. So that's it. But yeah, this little blog post, pretty much the Jason Schreir talked about how this blog post saddened a lot of BioWare employees and just demoralized them. Because they see someone expressing their issues that they have. A lot of developers have in these big development studios. The culture is horrible. It's stressful. It destroys people. They're overworked, underpaid for it, and they see people, actually reporting on it, trying to show us and other people what's really going on. And then their studio that they work for comes out and be like, "Fuck those guys! Don't listen to them. We're all good." Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to find it. I don't know exactly where it is. The BioWare CEO. I can't find it. But after this blog came out and the reaction was, sadness from the employees. Like, fuck, man. We thought like this was going to change things. The CEO came out. The CEO came out and said a lot of the things in this article are true. And there's a lot of things that we need to change within our studio, and we're gonna do it. That's pretty much what he said. So
this
that's the good news.
Is PR.
Yeah, this
so
is
at
PR.
least internally they're addressing what Jason Schreier is bringing to the public.
Yeah, but then the major boss was like, "Fuck the PR. I'm just gonna put out a statement. There's a lot of shit that we need to work on, and we're gonna work on it." That's what he said, which is good news for BioWare.
And hopefully he means that, because it's just the environment that these developers have to work in is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, BioWare has lost its luster now. If their next game, people are going to be like, "Oh, is it going to be another?"
They have, through mismanagement, bad directors, all this other stuff, they have tanked their name into the mud. You know, whether Anthem ultimately is a financial failure or success, I think it's sold enough. I mean, not great, but I think it's sold enough. The problem is BioWare has hurt its name so bad, and your name as a development studio means so much.
The only positivity from Anthem's sales comes from the name BioWare. That's it. Most people pre-ordered the game or bought the game just because it's a BioWare game and ignored all the signs that the game was not a good game. You know, all the signs, all the things that I saw, that we all saw. You know, we saw the demo, then a few months later we saw another demo, and then the game came out and streamers were playing it, and we're like, dude, what the fuck is this shit? But other people were like, you know what? I'm putting my blinders on. It's a BioWare game. Maybe if I actually sit there and play it, I'll actually enjoy it. And then they were all disappointed. Not all, but, you know, the majority of them were disappointed. So that's what we mean by tanked. As far as sales, I'm sure it profited. Did it do what they projected it to do? Hell no. But and also the next game's not going to do well. So that's pretty much it on that. So let's move on.
PC.
Go ahead.
Game SN says that Anthem is BioWare's best-selling launch after Mass Effect 3.
Okay, that's great. See, that's it.
So I mean, yeah, it made money. Lots of people bought it.
That's good.
But the PR behind it is going to make it not as much money as it would have if it was good, because, you know, game as a service, right? It's not going to make nearly as much money as a game as a service. And they hurt their name and their IPs by putting out a game like it.
Yeah. So I honestly...
And like, people are selling it for fucking pennies, like Stance is saying, $10. It went on sale like shortly after it was launched.
Yeah.
People trying to get it off the shelves because they aren't selling, so they're dropping price by like 90%.
Yeah, so I hope they figure out what they want to do with this game and what they can do to fix it. And I do think they're capable of it. I just don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon or if it's going to be significant enough to get people to be playing the game, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So that's it. Good luck, BioWare. We love you. It saddens us. Let's move on. All right, Deep Silver deactivates stolen Metro Exodus Steam keys. Did you hear about this? So there's a bunch of, apparently like a truckload of like Metro Exodus Steam keys got out. And we all know that Metro Exodus came out on the Epic Store, but there was that whole flub where people pre-ordered it on Steam, and then they were like, you know what, never mind, we're going to Epic. So there's Steam keys that are available in that process, but the game's not available on Steam. So, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can go to your Steam, add this fucking thing, and you have the game.
Because I think they have to still respect any of the pre-orders that came through Steam.
Yeah,
because they allowed that to happen. So like they can't have Steam like completely get rid of it.
Yeah. So anybody that bought those keys somehow, some way, you would go to your game and your game is deactivated. It's not in your library anymore. And this is why, because they said it was obtained illegally, so they just shut it down completely.
Well, the stolen keys.
Yeah, the stolen ones. So, which I didn't even know you could do.
I guess, did somebody like, I don't understand, was it like, because I mean, you can buy like Steam keys like in stores, can't you?
I think so.
Don't they sell those cards?
Yeah, they do. For games, they do, for sure. But these weren't, like, but that's what these were. That's what these were, I think. They were like those kinds of cards, and then they like physically got stolen.
Right.
So,
interesting.
But yeah, it says if you've been affected, we strongly recommend you contact the seller who sold you the unlicensed keys and demand a refund. Yeah, sure. I'm sure you'll get that refund.
I'm sure you will get that refund.
So that's fine.
Okay, so basically, so resellers often steal keys like that. They do it for Windows all the time.
Yeah. So there it is. But the other thing I wanted to say is I didn't know that they could just deactivate your Steam key. Why not just do that when you want to permaban someone? Is there like legal ramifications? Like, hey, I bought this legally.
I have no idea. No, because they're terms of service. Games aren't sold to you as games. You're buying access to something.
Yeah. So if
that
they
has
ban
conditions.
you, and you can't play the game, it's on you.
People make new accounts. That's how they get past that kind of stuff. I don't know what deactivating keys is though.
I didn't know, but what I'm saying is I didn't know that was even a thing that they could do. Where there's like this CD key, this line of text of that whatever the CD key is deactivated, and then you come to your library and it's not there. That's some fucking next level shit. Anyway, let's move on, dude. Tell me you saw this shit, man. This is a Russian org. I forgot what game that they're playing.
I didn't see this. I heard people talking about it.
Always fun when your coach walks out mid-game. So this is a video of the coach for this team upset with his players for their performance, and he literally just puts his headphones down and he walks away and he says, "You guys suck." And the players are like, "Come on, man, what are you doing?" I mean, is this guy a piece of shit or what, dude?
Oof.
It's a CS:GO league. Look at them.
CS:GO
Look at
league?
their faces, dude. They're so demoralized. Is there anything worse you can do for your...
Wait, hold on. Misinformation. That was disproven. What was disproven?
Oh, what? The coach's
headset wasn't working?
Oh my
Did
god.
we all get debated?
Are you serious? Let me see this. Is that true?
Is it true or is Dunk
usually the
lying to us?
comments has... Okay, here we go. Emilios, this guy says his headset wasn't working. He came back with a new headset around 3 minutes later. He didn't walk out. Simply was frustrated because they had just won a round and had to pause for him to get a new headset, losing the momentum they had just gained. Oh, so he wasn't mad at his players?
Oh man. Whew.
It looks like he's mad at them. He's like, it's
It
not
does.
fucking working. It's not and then he's like, why can't they give you one that works?
Oh, they were upset the pause killed the moment of them like when oh my god.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, fake news. Thanks, Dunk. I
Fake
appreciate
news.
you, dude. I appreciate
There's
that.
a reason we haven't banned Dunk yet.
I was saying that good thing my tweet about this was I don't know the full story to this, but if what we're seeing is the truth, he's a piece of shit. That's what I said. I didn't say fuck that coach. Thank God. Thank God. If people are going through my old tweets. He's probably pissed his headset isn't working. Yeah, no, of course. I would be pissed off too. It would look like that too.
Right? On a professional stage like that and your fucking shit's not working.
And you know what? Russians do the thing that Armenians do. They like use their hand to like point at people like that. And they were doing that
so
thing.
much talking.
And I thought that's what was happening. The hand point. The full hand. Yeah, I almost got Kevin Harted. All right, let's move on. Borderlands 3 might be an Epic Store exclusive. Deleted tweets tease September release. So there's 2 tweets that are here that were deleted.
Yes.
And I don't know how the fuck they went out. Whoever is on the PR team, you're done, dude. You're fired. You're out of here.
You're fired. Get out. You're banned.
So one of them was Mayhem is coming September 13th. Pre-order now for the gold weapons skin packs. Obviously, we know this is Borderlands 3 because they said that it's Mayhem is coming back in like other trailers and stuff like that. So it's consistent with that, and it makes sense. September 13th. So this was later deleted. Expected to come out in September, and then there was another one where in the trailer or in there's the Epic Store logo in one of the tweets. You could see it on the bottom right here. It's kind of hard to see from this little image. Let me see.
It's the bottom left, John.
Or bottom left, sorry. Right hand over your heart. That's how I would tell what's right and left from the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. Okay, this is my right hand. But yeah, there it is. Epic Game exclusive. Looks like, I don't know if it's exclusive, but it's going to be on Epic Games. And, this came out, obviously big flub by the marketing team. And then, go ahead.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drama around it, but I just want to address that Jim Bulls is saying the Borderlands 3 characters look boring as fuck, and I want someone to ban them right now.
Yeah, Jimbles, you're just an edgelord, all right? No, that kind
Jim Bulls
of opinion.
is just a hater.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. They all look great. I don't care. I think it's going to be great.
there's been a lot of drama around it involving Randy Pitchford as well, who is the head of Grinding Gears, or what's his
Yeah,
really
Gearbox. It's
or
Gearbox. Yeah,
rather.
he's
Sorry,
the
not
boss.
Grinding Gears.
Gearbox boss responds to leaks.
Yes.
Gives us another reason to believe that Borderlands 3 could launch as an Epic Games Store.
He did, in one of his tweets, mentioned something about timed exclusives. You know, when it's a period of time, he's fine with exclusive contracts.
Yeah.
So we are led to believe that this is a timed exclusive and not just a permanent exclusive. None of that's been confirmed yet.
Which is exactly what Outer Worlds is doing. They're like, you can get it on the Epic Store as soon as it releases, or 6 months later, get it on Steam as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of talk about, you know, what is and what isn't anti-consumer with exclusives and all this other stuff, how you compete with Steam. And I don't know. I can understand some people disliking or being untrustworthy of Epic because Tencent's involvement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's been lots of accusations of the Epic Store launcher being spyware, having a lot of other stuff. Did somebody really just ban Jimbo?
Oh my god. Someone did ban Jimbo.
Fresh Princeton.
And then,
I can understand that stuff. If it's just like, well, we're not sure if Epic can really be trusted with putting software on our computers because it might, you know. So I can understand that. I have an issue with the idea of like exclusivity to storefronts, because I do think like game exclusives on consoles and stuff are anti-consumer because there's an extra paywall behind actually purchasing the game. You have to own the console.
Yeah.
Right? You have to buy a $300-$400 console to play the game. That's bad for consumers. I don't know if exclusively selling on a free storefront that has no extra cost to the consumer is anti-consumer in any way.
No, it's not.
I just don't think so. I'm worried about Tencent pumping money into this unsustainable. They only take, or Epic and Tencent, because I don't know who's pulling strings here, but Epic pumping extra money into, only taking 12% of the sales, which is unsustainable. But they're doing it because they got to get games on the platform to compete with Steam.
It's
right?
exactly what Amazon is willing to do
Yes.
to put other companies out of business. They go, oh, you sell that product? Okay, we're going to sell the same product, half the price.
We have deeper pockets, and we'll take
the loss just to put you out of business.
Until we put you out of business. And Tencent has done these tactics in China. They come into a market, they undersell at a loss until they bleed their competition dry. They buy their competition and then bump prices up 70%.
Yep. That's
so,
exactly what they do.
There is some worry about, is this kind of tactic being used now by Epic? They're going to try to get it. But, I mean, as long as there are no permanent, not like permanent exclusions, like as long as game studios don't fall into that, I don't know. I mean, competition can always be good, but there's always a double-edged sword to these things. So I think it's right to be cautious, but I don't think it's right to be on board with just hating Epic, because Steam has done tons of shitty stuff in the past and been super anti-consumer. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like Steam is some bastion of good business. No business is.
Yeah. And Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox Games, pretty much told everybody, listen, we don't have say in where it's published, where it goes. We just make the fucking game. So if you have any inquiries, don't hit me up. Hit up 2K and Take-Two. Hit those people up because they're responsible for that. And then he said, for what it's worth, I do like competition. I like that I can buy stuff from other places. And he said the one thing that he finds positive in them being part of the Epic Game Store is Epic's leadership with cross-platform support, and they believe in multi-platform support as a prerequisite. So he likes the fact that, they're pushing that kind of thing, and that's what he wants for his game. He wants people, to have cross-platform
So he's not
support.
down. Yeah, he's not down with true exclusivity.
Yeah.
But he did say he's fine with some sort of timed exclusivity.
Yeah.
He did also then kind of went on a little bit of a tirade and argument with some people about, reviews on Steam. A big issue some developers seem to have is, review bombing on Steam.
That's what's going on.
Which does occur. which does occur, and it's childish and stupid by people doing the review bombing. But I don't think we need to be in such a rush to get rid of reviews or ways for users to give feedback to developers, like some of these people like Randy Pitchford are complaining about. It's like, he's like, oh, well, you can't do that on the Epic Store. Well, yeah, you can't give the developer any feedback on the Epic Store.
Yeah.
Should we just not be able to give feedback on your product because you don't want to hear it? Review bombing is a shitty, stupid thing to do, of course, but that doesn't mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly. That's just out of spite. And dude, Borderlands and Borderlands 2 have been out for so fucking long. There isn't a person on this planet that's like, oh, let me go read the reviews and see like what this game's all about. There's so much fucking information out there. I doubt the Steam reviews are going to change somebody's perception on whether the game is good or not. You know what I mean? So it's obviously just a tactic by people to show their hate. You know, or just to feel like they're being heard, and I can understand that, but I don't know. The one person that wins in all of this is Valve, because they got this army of people that are like championing their cause for no fucking reason, dude. They're not getting paid by Valve. Valve isn't like, hey, you know, if you do this, we'll give you like extra CD keys. And for a company that doesn't even fucking deserve it in the first place. Yeah, it's why are so many people so loyal to Steam? It's so crazy, dude. I mean,
it blows my mind.
Listen, I love Steam, and I've said before that I will never buy a game off the Epic launcher, but you know, this news came out, so
I don't hold that opinion. But I can understand why you do. Yeah. I don't, just cause it's like this. When Steam first came out, everybody fucking hated it.
Oh, fucking, I hated it, dude. It was a
shitty platformer. Everybody was like, oh, I have to use Steam to launch my games?
Oh my God.
Why would I do that?
I hated it, dude.
You know, and it was a shitty platform and everything like that, right? And now it's like everybody's fucking sucking its dick, even though Valve has stopped being the company it used to be when they made the Half-Life games and Team Fortress 2 and all those games. Now they don't make games. They make Artifact.
Oh my God.
Right? Just to try to pump money into themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've become just as shitty a company as anyone else out there.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with some competition trying to weasel their way into the market to sort of make Steam do something, try to be a better company. You know what I mean?
That's it. Competition is good for everybody. And they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to discredit your competition. If you have a monopoly, you don't want to fucking lose it, dude. That's it, period. They have an accidental monopoly just because nobody else made a better product. That's all. That's the only reason Steam has the monopoly. And
and it's a it's not a true monopoly.
It's not. Because it's not a monopoly because there's an opportunity for other people to come and deplatform them, but nobody has done that, you know?
Right.
So Epic is coming in and doing it now, and Valve is over here with their boo-hoo, oh my God, what are we going to do? Right. Look at these guys, Tencent. This is all rhetoric that you do whenever you have that foothold, when you have that company, dude.
Yeah, know? And on top of this, though, because I'll address what Dunk is asking about Epic having early access set up.
Yeah.
Epic is designing itself to be a completely different platform than Steam is. Mm-hmm. Epic is not planning on being the bastion for indie games and all this other stuff. Epic is going to be personally curating every game that they allow on their Epic store. They said they want quality, good game. It's very unlikely that we'll see any sort of early access setup. Yeah. I really think that they're just going to go with a sort of niche kind of market like Epic. They curate their content. They have specific high quality games. And I think Steam is just going to maybe need to push more towards the indie development stuff like they have in the past, be the indie platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Epic has said, and I have the Steam store up on my screen here. If you go to like Steam's games and you look up,
we had mentioned that before. They just got, you could put a ton of stuff on Steam. Your crazy games, your really bad games, your silly games. Epic won't have that kind of stuff. Epic won't have these little fucking puppy dog puzzles or waifu games.
Yeah, so I just went to popular new releases, new games, and there's like good shit here made by legitimate developers, but then there's other stuff that literally looks like they're mobile games. They're mobile games put on Steam. and they're really lame looking games, and that's just because Steam
Right.
is all about like, look at
Letting-
this kind of shit.
Well,
dude.
letting people do that because people want those kind of games still, though. I mean, I don't know if Doki Doki Literature Club would have happened on a platform like Epic.
Dude, that game was called
You know what I'm
Trap
saying?
Shrine, dude. Trap Shrine. Good thing I fucking X'd out of that.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
But and I don't think they're gonna have any mature content like Steam has. Sex games.
Yeah.
I don't think Epic will allow anything like that. So there's a place for a platform to have all that. So I think as long as Steam doesn't follow Epic's example to compete with them there, I think Steam is never gonna lose too much.
No. I don't think
I think they
don't
need
think
to.
are.
I think they need to focus on being okay with being different than Epic.
Yeah. And Epic has said they're working on achievements, they're working on all the kinds of stuff that Steam already has. So Steam has an insane head start.
Steam has an insane head start. However, there's stuff with I don't know. I feel like the Epic Store they should have had that stuff so easy by now already. I don't know.
Who
But-
knows?
Who knows? I feel like
knows?
they're taking their time, maybe wasting too much.
Yeah. So
But
as far as
It'll
this
be
goes,
interesting to see, but I can understand people being apprehensive about Epic, especially since Tencent owns like 40% of it.
yeah. And that number just keeps rising. They literally just go to the people that own the shares of these companies, and they go, here's a checkbook, write a number in it, and give me your shares. And that's literally what they do. It's like that movie Blank Check, dude. So that's scary. That kind of shit is scary. That kind of grasp on your what do you call it? On your market, that kind of grasp on your market is insane. Amazon's doing it right now. That's why everybody shops at Amazon, because they bought everybody out. They put everybody out of business. Anything that you want to get, everyone's like, dude, just buy it off Amazon. They did it to Best Buy years ago, and no one said shit. People would literally, me and my buddies, we would go to Best Buy, see what the new cool available stuff is, and then we would shop on Amazon.
Yeah, and you get it cheaper.
Yeah. So, that kind of stuff is scary, especially in the video game industry. But we'll see how it goes. That's the main thing with this. Just we'll see. All right?
We'll see.
We'll fucking see. All right? Next piece of news. Gabe Newell's likeness is still selling underwear in China.
Wait.
On a lighter note.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, so
I've
apparently
never heard of this.
in China, because there's no copyright fucking laws in China. They just take Gabe Newell's picture and put it on these fucking underwear, dude. And they're called
Why?
Long D, dude. That's the name of the fucking brand.
Long D. Hell
Long
yeah, get me some
D,
Long
dude.
D,
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
So yeah, apparently this has been going on in China. It's a photoshopped Gabe Newell on some guys. I don't know why they picked, why not another model, dude? I don't understand why Gabe.
That's what I'm wondering. Why Gabe?
I don't know, dude. I
Gabe
guess
and why?
maybe because he kind of looks Chinese. I don't know.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, but anyway, he's been. They've been selling like hotcakes in
People
China.
the thing said people are just puzzled by the company's decision.
I wonder if Gabe knows. Yeah, of course he knows, dude. I would frame that shit and give it to Gabe Newell. Be like, here you go, dude. He has the long D.
He's got friends that have bought that underwear.
Dude, of course, man. I just want it, and I don't want to open it from its package like a fucking
yeah.
collector's item,
Hell yeah, dude.
It's fucking great.
I got my long D's in the background.
So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to show you guys, 'cause we get a little lighter up in this bitch, We're getting too serious on this podcast. All right, next piece of news. Risk of Rain 2 developers talk hitting 500,000 players, mod support, and what's coming next. So, we're fucking obsessed with this game. So we just wanted to talk about it a little bit. It's in early access, and there's only a few maps and levels, and there's a lot of content that's not in the game yet, so we were just hungry for this information. And apparently, they did not expect it to do as well as it's doing. This was literally one of their Steam page first update. Holy moly, that's it. So they're kind of like in shock right now and trying to figure out, whoa, what the fuck do we do here? And pretty much with this article, it's just question and answers. Hey, are you going to do this? What are you going to do about that? If you want to read it. But to summarize it, they pretty much said we did not expect this many players. We had a plan. We're going to stick with the plan. And as far as mod support goes, it wasn't in the original plan, but it doesn't mean that they're ruling it out. So if you're looking for the Steam Workshop, it's probably not going to come out till much, much later.
And people have already made mods.
Yeah.
There's already a post on the Reddit that makes the Artificer better in their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away her ice wall and gives her a frost blink.
Ooh.
Yes. So there's already mods. I mean, this game has not been out and people are already like, I'm going to fix this.
Yeah. So this, as of 3 days ago, they said they have over 500,000 players, and I'm sure the numbers keeps rising. Or 500,000 copies sold. And as far as the ping system, this is really cool of a developer to say. So my friends,
they straight up said,
yeah, we after seeing the
admitted.
great ideas implemented in Apex Legends, we implemented a new ping system and wanted to see how people utilize it before beefing it up. So, you know, we've been complaining about the ping system in this game, like, hey, it disappears when we want it to stay permanent, and they're like, don't worry, we're on it.
We got you.
Yeah, we're on it. So, yeah.
That's great. I mean, I'm really hopeful. I love the game as is.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could continue to play it for months just as is.
Yep, exactly. Same. And
but
I will.
We're going to keep getting new stuff. We're going to get new characters. We're going to get new maps. We're going to get potentially an end game at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
That's it.
I'm super, super excited about this game, dude.
It's the best $20 you'll ever spend. 100%. Next piece of news. Blizzard told a fan in Overwatch League Arena that they are not allowed to use the OK symbol with your hand. You know, the one with the 3 fingers up and the circle. For its association as a white power symbol. After they flashed it on stream and a complaint was made to the Overwatch League account on Twitter. So, yeah, that's the kind of world we're in right now, guys. Pepe Frog is banned, and the OK symbol that you do with your hand, which that I don't know if you guys know this, the whole OK symbol being a white power reference was a joke made on 4chan. It was just some bullshit that some 4chan losers created, and they're like, hey, what if we go around telling people this is a symbol for white power to bait all these social justice warriors?
And the media.
Yeah.
And here's how it works, and it's sad, and Blizzard adds legitimacy to these symbol takeovers, as I'd call them. I mean, you can say the Nazis did the same thing with the swastika.
Oh, symbol takeover. That's an amazing thing to call it. That's exactly what it is. You're right. That's what they did with the swastika. It used to be a Chinese symbol of peace or something, right?
Or a Hindu symbol of infinity, or I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But it did, the Nazis use it now. It's a hate symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so 4chan made this troll to trick the media to say the OK sign is because the whole Pepe the Frog debacle of the media deciding that Pepe was a white nationalist meme, when really it was just, well, everybody uses Pepe to meme.
Yeah.
Not just white nationalists, right? So 4chan made the troll that white power means, here's the P and the W.
The W is the 3 fingers on the OK symbol.
3 fingers for white power.
Yeah.
So the media picks it up and legitimizes it in a sense, right? 4chan trolls, media picks it up, and suddenly what wasn't a white power symbol is now actually being used by white supremacists as a white power symbol. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that they were actually using it now. So then it is a white power symbol now.
In a way, see, that's why it's so weird. You know what I mean?
That is weird because now white supremacists have like embraced it. They're like, yeah, this is our thing.
It can be used as a dog whistle or any other sort of thing, whereas it should always still be okay to use this to just mean okay.
Yeah.
But now everyone has to be on high alert because they're like, is somebody white power memeing?
Dude.
Or you know what I mean? Or is that a real person saying what? You know what I mean? And it muddies the water, and that's what those kind of people want. They want that in society. They want conflict and all this other crazy stuff.
The reason I have Chef Boyardee up is, doesn't he fucking do that thing?
Does he? Or maybe he used to.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know if they changed it.
No, or did he just do I don't know.
Somebody does there is a food company that their main guy does the okay thing. Like,
Mamma mia. Who does the okay thing?
Who?
A character in Blizzard's game Overwatch named Zenyatta.
Yeah, he does this fucking because he does it upside down though. I think somebody
So-
actually posted. Yeah, there we go. Here it is. As a Zen main, oh, it was Slasher, of course. As a Zen main, I am upset my hero will be banned from the game. As you can see, there's a white power symbol. He has double
Yes.
white power symbol as a robot.
Double white power. So there, it's kind of a mixed bag of clusterfuck because yes, there is some legitimacy that yes, now some white supremacists use it, but I mean, so fucking what?
Yeah,
So some redneck white power fucktard is using the OK symbol to jokingly go like, haha, white power or something, or not jokingly, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
It started as a joke. I'm sure it's used more jokingly than a real thing, but it could also be used as a real thing. Does that now mean that we should ban the emoji or the original meaning of it or anything like that just because a minority is abusing a previous symbol that everyone's used?
yeah.
Like, it seems ridiculous. Context will always matter, and this is key of that. Blizzard doing these kind of things, what they do is they take power away from normal people who have always used the symbol to mean okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they're legitimizing the white nationalists' way of using it.
Yep.
Instead of saying, no, it's not a white nationalist thing, it's just an okay symbol. You kind of take power away from the symbol.
It's like whenever
'Cause
there's a mass shooting and they talk about the mass shooter and they give him a platform and like people want to know about his life and read his manifesto and it makes other
Yeah.
it legitimizes him, so other shooters
Yeah.
go out and they do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So yeah, I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of it.
And the not to try to start a conversation about shooting or whatever, but the New Zealand shooter did do that symbol as well.
Yeah, of course.
So
Because
it shows how a troll to media coverage to actual usage, this kind of stuff works.
yeah, and
Like
it
it
just
was never
shows
a white
you.
power symbol.
It also shows
until
you how stupid
that.
those fucking bigots are in the, in white power and everything. They just stole something
Right.
from 4chan and championed it. It's like, dude, you guys are taking
Yeah.
it from internet trolls and making it your thing. You know?
Yeah.
That's the comedy of it. The comedy of this whole thing is some guys made it as a troll and then now everybody's embracing it on both sides. This white supremacists that are dumbasses are embracing it. The
dumbass
media. And then people in between these companies, like they're embracing it, and now the trolls win. It's the ultimate win for these trolls, dude.
Right. And it's a big problem
Yeah.
because like you can see the clip right there, this guy raising it in the camera,
Yeah.
right? He's memeing
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
right? But and so then you have to ask yourself, is it a race? What a racist meme? Like what is memeing? Like the OK symbol was sort of already being memed with emojis before the white power memes and the white power actual legitimate usage of it. So it's like it makes context or contextualizing the use of the symbol really muddy, right? Which is what people like white supremacists love, because when you can start taking symbols, especially everyday symbols, and muddying the water around them, and people start getting accused of things, and people start banning the symbol, it I don't know, it just causes a lot of issues within society that people don't like.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's it for that. And as far as I know, Blizzard is not going to change. They're going to keep this fucking enforcement of this bullshit. They're going to keep legitimizing these stupid things because they want to be a progressive tech company, just like all the other ones. They want to prove that they want to virtue signal their life away, as we say on this fucking podcast, dude. And this is just another opportunity for them to say that they're silencing bigots.
I really think this is just an opportunity for them to make sure that they don't get accused of it.
Yeah.
It's if you don't let anybody meme the white power symbol, the OK sign on your stream, well then it's nobody can,
Well,
be
that's
like, Blizzard lets people with, white nationalist memes on their stream.
Well, that's the slippery slope of this all. Eventually, they make all these stupid arbitrary rules to the point where it's going to be like, okay, now you're the racist one. Oh, remember, you can't do this sign. We just found Zenyatta doing the sign. So now what?
Right.
What are you going to, what's the response to that, Blizzard?
I mean, I feel like that's the next, like, I feel like they're going to be lampooned for this for a while because of Zenyatta.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they escape getting bashed for this because of Zenyatta.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. And that's what happens with these things. It's just slippery slopes. Like one by one, you're just going to keep adding these stupid arbitrary rules to the point where we have to just sit down with our arms crossed, legs crossed, mouth closed, and all be little robots that don't say or do anything because we don't want to be accused of being racist bigots, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're going to pigeonhole themselves into this corner where it's like, don't say that, don't act that way. All your characters have to be diverse. You can't have a single white person, you know, in your next video game. You can't have them say this or that. It has to be gender neutral. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. It's going to be so ridiculous. The artistry is going to be gone, and it's just going to be at a point where I think it'll all blow over, to be honest with you. From what I've read from other people that are talking, the younger generation of kids that are growing up are all making fun of this shit just like we are. So it's kind of, if that's the case, then that means when they're older, this shit will all blow over. So that's the good thing.
Maybe.
I mean, that's what I hear. I hear people saying, like, you know, I'm gender neutral as a joke, like in high school and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it'll all blow over and stuff like that, is what I'm hoping. So, yeah, that's what Prince is saying. The Zoomers are going to push back a bit, supposedly. That's what I've been hearing, too. Is that what they're calling them? Zoomers? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
All right, guys. I got to go, man. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this podcast. We really appreciate you. We're sorry that we didn't have TY on today. It was our fuck up. So if you're listening, TY, sorry about that. We'll hopefully get him not next week, but the week after. And is there anything you want to plug?
Everyone go to Steam and buy Risk of Rain 2. And so I have more people to play with.
Yeah, everybody buy Risk of Rain 2. It is a $20 game. It's not that expensive. And you have 2 hours.
Fucking worth it.
You have 2 hours or 2 weeks to play the game. And one good run is like about an hour. That's a long run. So you have enough time to try it before you return it. And yeah, T said Dip already returned it. See? He tried it. He didn't like it. He returned it. That's all you got to do. And Dip sucks. So... Yeah, $20 is trash for early access. Like I said, it doesn't feel like early access. It just feels like a new game that doesn't have as much content as they promised, but it doesn't feel like it honestly doesn't feel like you're missing anything. I not once have said, "Oh, I wish there was more." No. I'm still trying to discover all the things that are there, you know? And we've been playing it for hours now. So, yeah. So buy the fucking game, all right? That's it. Anything else, Sar?
Nope.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, stream every day. 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I'll get my Cyberpunk game going on soon. All right, guys. Stay tuned for that. Love you all. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Czar Salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh,